BBS here with the one and only Oscar De La Hoya. It's a pleasure and an honor to be in front of you, sir. First of all, talk to me about intangibles that you bring to not only Jaime, but Canelo, having not only fought, but fought on the biggest stages, literally. What kind of perspective does that give you as being a promoter and having been there and done that?
Look, fighters like Jaime Munguia and Canelo Alvarez, they move the needle. They meaning, you know, they bring the masses because of their style. You know, they're warriors who don't know how to take a step going backwards. Whether they want to learn how to take a step backwards or they don't, the fans love watching them. You know, they're easy to promote. They're easy to deal with. They have the passion. They have the work ethic to become great. So, you know, promoting Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia, from my perspective, has been relatively easy because they lend themselves to be promoted.
So, do you have to talk to them, or have you ever had to talk to them about composure, or maybe how to deal with butterflies pre-fight?
You know, there's a few times where, as an experienced fighter myself, you know, I sometimes let them know, you know, what it's like at that championship level, what it's like to be in an event where they haven't experienced themselves. It's rare, but it happens. But fighters like Canelo, who's been in this game for many years now, who is a professional and he continues to grow and to learn, it's getting easier for me to promote him because he's self-promoted now at this point of his career. And Jaime Munguia as well. I mean, he's a young guy. He's 21 years old. He does need a few pointers, but at this stage of his career, he's learning what the game's all about. He's learning how to promote himself outside the ring, as long as he keeps fighting the way he fights inside the ring.
Reflecting on your career, was there a fight of your own, now that you're done, that you were maybe more nervous, like a particular fight, well, wow, like my butterflies were worked up for this one versus my other ones? Could you speak on that and maybe the wisdom you imparted on your guys from that?
I think when I fought Ike Quartey at Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay, I think that fight there. See, I was one that when they told me, okay, you're gonna fight this guy, I'm like, okay, let's fight. So I would go into the gym. I would start training for him. I never watched any film whatsoever. I would let my trainer,
You're not
my
a film
coach.
guy?
I wasn't a film guy back then. I'm a huge advocate now. But when I was leaving my dressing room to go inside the ring, it dawned on me that I said to myself, damn, I'm fighting Ike Quartey. You know, undefeated, has tremendous power. So that fight there kind of woke me up and made me realize, I mean, hey, you have to study your fighters, you have to be prepared for the butterflies, you have to be prepared for everything. You know what I'm saying? So that fight there, Ike Quartey, is when, I mean, after the fight, I told myself, I knew I should have prepared myself even better because this guy was probably the toughest fighter I've ever had.
So it made you fight harder, not necessarily more reluctant.
Yeah, it made me fight harder. It made me realize that for my next fights, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be not 90% ready, but 100% ready.
Talk to me about, I think it was the 12th round, that flurry you put on Ike. Like, talk to me about, were you even thinking or were you just reacting? Because you laid it on him in that 12th round.
I might have been down. I might have been down a point or two in that fight, I remember. And I needed that 12th round to tie, to get a draw, or to win the fight. And yeah, I mean, I was able to rally, I was able to drop him, I was able to almost stop him. I mean, in today's day and age, a fight like that would have been stopped, you know?
Right.
But we had referees back then that,
right.
They waited till the last second. And so, it ended up being a great fight, one for the record books.
So my final question, I know we got to wrap it up. I know you guys have trainers, but do you ever talk to them strategically, Canelo or Jaime? Just, you know, because you know the game again.
There's pointers that I give them. I love going into Canelo's camp and watching him spar or train. You know, he sometimes surprises me and teaches me a couple of things. So there's a lot of information I can give him, with
Such as, can you elaborate?
such as fighting on your toes more often, bouncing up and down, snapping your jab, double, triple, I mean, fighters today, they throw one jab or no jab at all. So I love the combination, punching and to the body, and so I was a fighter that was very fluent with my jab, but that fought on my toes, So I love giving them that information, and whether they use it or not, it's up to them. But I sometimes like giving them my wisdom and my experience of what I've lived through in the sport of boxing. So and a lot of times they're very open to listening and to trying to implement that in their style. So it's pretty cool to see.
Well, they should be based on what you've done. It's a pleasure to have interviewed you.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.